Very good. Okay, if everyone wants to just find a place, as they said, as Rhonda said, definitely feel free to go in and out, get something to eat, to drink. Do not be shy. You're among friends. Also, want to welcome all those people who are tonight. We'll get to the official thing in a minute, but also want to welcome the many, many people that are watching online right now. And before we begin, for anything, we're going to say one parak of Tehillim for the Chayalim, for the Chayalot, for the Psuim, and it's especially poignant tonight as we commemorate Avraham's yarhzeit. Many of his friends are among those Chayalim, and it's a very good kesher for us to be able to say a Perek Tehillim in his memory and in honor of the and for the Hatzlacha of all the Chayalim. I'll say, but we'll do pasuk by pasuk. Shir malot b'ma'amakin keraticha Adonai. Adonai shima v'koli tihyen oznecha kashuvot l'kol tachanunai. Im avonot tishmor ya Adonai mi ya'amod. Ki imecha haslicha lema'an tivarech. Kiviti Adonai kiveta nafshi v'lidvaro chalti. נפשי לאדוני משומרים לבוקר, שומרים לבוקר. יחל ישראל אל אדוני, כי עם אדוני החסד והרבה מופדות. והוא יפתה את ישראל מכל עוונותיו. באים בים ובין ביבשה מקום אחרים עליהם יוצאים מצרים לרווחה מהפעלה לאפשרת לשיבוד וגאולה השתה בזמן קריב ונאמר אמן. Okay. So one apology up front. I have my notes on the computer, so if I'm looking down once in a while at the computer, that's the way it is. I try not to keep everything in the head. Not much room. So as we know, we're here tonight to commemorate, starting shortly, the yarhzeit fourth yarhzeit. Wow. Of Avigdor Chai Avram ben Rachaleo Mer Tzvi, Zichrono Livracha. And I have the zechut every Thursday morning to learn in his memory here or hear it online. Lilu Nishmato, and usually we say it's Lilu Nishmato, and we begin the learning. But I think tonight, just for a minute or two before I begin the shiur, I want to just mention a couple of comments. All of us who knew Avraham knew that he was very special. You can't say very, he was a unique individual. Obviously, a heart transplant recipient. He lived with courage, dignity, lived with purpose. One thing that I personally learned from him was midot. He was very straight, very honest. He's telling me he's not who you were, Avraham. Picture just blew off the table of Avraham. He was a very, very sincere boy, young man. Wasn't a boy, he was a young man. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, we got it.
It's all good. It's all good. This is Avraham. We all know. Baruch Hashem. It was an honor to learn with him in his lifetime, and it's even a greater honor at the moment to learn for him, for his nishama, while he is in the Olam HaEmet. And may the words be for Nishmato. I can't say enough about Avram's family. I do remember saying at the Levaya that if you had at home Mesilat Yesharim, Derech Hashem, Orchot Tzadikim, and you didn't need any of them. All you need to do is to come here and spend some time in the house and understand what Emunah is. And to this day, that still remains true. And it will be in his memory and the family's honor that I want to talk tonight about Perek Shira. It's a text that talks about really the harmony of the universe. I'll give a little bit of background on it. It's a song. And the truth is that Avraham's life was a form of a song as well. It was short, poignant, moving, just like Perek Shira. So may the memory of Avraham, Avigdor Chai Avram ben Rachaleo Mer Tzvi have an aliyah tonight. the text of Perek Shira, and some of you may be extremely familiar with Perek Shira, some of you may maybe never heard of it, or just tangentially, something in the back of your Siddur, is really a revolutionary text in our Masorah. When we think of Shira, song, we think about things like Shirat Hayam, the Az Yashir, Shirat HaAzinu, written in 2 columns in the Torah, Shirat Dvorah, something of that nature. But what if I told you, again, for those of you especially not familiar with Perek Shira, that every day the sun sings praise to Hashem? Rivers, trees, animals, all say psukim from Tanakh on a daily basis in praise of Hashem. That includes the rooster and the donkey and the mosquito and the dog and the mouse. And it's not just once in a while, it's every day. It's a radical claim when you think about it, that Perek Shira is not only about the world that God created. It didn't just stop. We know that from Tefillah and Shacharit. It's he renews creation every day, but the world continues moment by moment to respond to Hashem as well, not passively, not in a passive way, but actively and vocally by creation. When I say creation, I don't mean what you're seeing right now in the background. I'm saying creation. So what is it? First, what is Perek Shira? Erev Tov. So it's fine. You're among friends. It's good. Welcome. It's mysterious, a mysterious text, about 85 stanzas. Every creature, from the most celestial to the terrestrial, is listed with a verse of Tanakh being that it says. The authorship of Perek Shira is not 100% clear. I know I didn't write it. That much I know. But it was maybe written by David HaMelech, maybe by David and Shlomo. There are other possibilities. So I can't tell you exactly who wrote it. But I do want to do is I want to read the introduction of Perek Shira itself, so you can at least understand the magnitude and the power of what it holds. But I do want to say in parentheses that there is no requirement, no chiyuv to say Perek Shira. It's a very nice thing. We'll see about skulot, what it may be able to do for a person. But there's no, I don't say it, I have to start saying it. It's not like, I didn't say Shema, I have to say Shema. It does not rise to that level. But it's still a very important text. I don't want to minimize it, Chas v'shalom. So this is the beginning, not reading the whole introduction, a couple short paragraphs, and I'll translate. Amar Rabbi Eliezer, kol osek b'perek shira ba'olam hazeh, whoever involves himself, doesn't say whoever reads it, but involves himself in Perek Shira, in this world, zocheh ve'omra le'olam haba. He has the merit to say it in the next world. Shenemar, az yashir Moshe, then Moshe will sing. Shir lo ne'emar ela yashir. It doesn't say he sang the song of the sea, but he will sing. Le'olam haba. And it's also used as a proof text for Tchiat HaMeitim and other things as well. V'amar Rabbi, kol osek beperek shira ba'olam hazeh, me'id ani alav shu ben olam haba. So Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, author of the Mishnah, said, I give testimony that whoever says, whoever involves himself, what does that mean, involves himself? We'll see. In Perek Shira, I give testimony that he is a ben olam haba. He's going to go to olam haba. And not just that, but wait, there's more. Nitzol me Yetzirah hara. He will be saved from the Yetzer hara. That's how you translate Yetzer hara into English, is the Yetzer hara. Umidin kashe, and from difficult judgment, let's say. Umi satan hamashchit, and from the destructive Satan. Umi kol minei mazikin, and from all kinds of other things that try to harm us. I gave a share on this a few months back about things we can't see that could potentially harm us. Umi chavlo shel Mashiach, and from the pains of the time of Mashiach coming. Umi dina shel gehinom v'zochel lilmod u'lalamed lishmor v'la'asot u'l'kayem. A whole laundry list of things. And what he learns, he remembers, he holds on to. Umarich yamim, he lives longer. And he earns olam haba. It's not bad. Not bad. What does it mean, kol ha'osek? Doesn't say kol ha'omer. So I'm going to give you just a little idea. I didn't see this anywhere, but I think it really does fit here. There's another place that we use this word. Many places we use the word kol ha'osek. Similar idea. It has to do with when the Gemara talks about various questions that a person is asked after 120 years and comes up to Shemayim. And one of them is, Asakta betirya v'rivya. Did you involve yourself in procreation? That does not mean, did you have children? It means, did you involve yourself in bringing children into the world? Whether it means being a listening ear for someone who is having trouble having children, whether it means being there, supporting organizations, something. La'asok b'divrei Torah does not mean to sit and learn Torah. We meant in Masach Ashkenaz, when you say the bracha Birkat Torah in the morning, it doesn't say lilmod Torah. It's la'asok b'divrei Torah, to involve, which means that the way you act during the day is based on Shulchan Aruch. So Perek Shira doesn't just mean to read it; it also means to be involved in it to an extent we're going to see in a few minutes. That the words in the Shira of the animals and everything else inspire you to something. We'll see. But what exactly is Perek Shira? Keep dancing around it. So it begins with a statement of the Shamayim, the heavens, and the second to last, the fancy word is penultimate. The second to last sentence is let me go back. The first sentence, let me read it. Hashamayim omrim, Hashamayim mesaprin kavod el, u'masei yadav magid harakia. The heavens declare the glory of Hashem, and the firmament proclaims his handiwork. That's how it starts. And the second to last statement is, Kol hanishamat helayah hallelujah. That all living things praise, let everything praise Hashem. It's found in the back of many Sidurim. With a note, very often you'll see that kind of from this introduction, that those who say it be ben olam haba, they get olam haba. It's all kinds of skulot. It's considered a skula for parnasa, for income. It's a skula for childbirth. It's a skula for Yeshua. I said the best skula for parnasa is go out and work, find a job. Never mind. But the real question is, what's the essence of Perek Shira? It's not just a poem. It's poetic, but it's not a poem. It's like making up a term. I don't know if it even exists. A cosmic midrash. A cosmic midrash. It's a liturgical reenactment of Maaseh Bereshit. In a way, it's a form of Maaseh Bereshit, because what is the very first thing Hashem creates? Shamayim Aretz. Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz. And the first thing that is bringing praise to Hashem in this Shira is Shamayim, is the heavens. But it's also a spiritual challenge to us. And we'll see how that is. The structure of Perek Shira is basically a descending order of creation. I'm just going to read to you what it looks like. There's 6 sections for the most part. You can see in different versions it's broken up a little differently, but ultimately it's the same idea. Planet Earth, heavens, sun, moon, stars, rivers, well springs. Number 2, heavenly bodies, the day, the night, sun, moon, dew, the rain. Plants, trees, grass, fruits. When you sit in the park here one day and you see this grass, there's actually a little bit of grass there. You look at the trees, you can start picturing, hearing them. At some point of the day, they're saying Shira. And how many trillions and quintillions amount of blades of grass there are in the world? They're saying Shira to Hashem every day. Birds and insects, roosters, hens, eagles, stork, raven. Number 5, animals. Domesticated, large animals, kosher animals, non-kosher animals. And finally, insects, vermin, dog, creepy things. What's missing from here? What's missing from the list? Man, human beings. We're not listed there. We're not listed. But why would that be? So, as those of you who've heard me teach over the years know that I say there's no such thing as the answer is, and an answer I'll give you. Because we are not automatically programmed to be part of the song. We are not programmed. The ant does not need musar, doesn't need to be told what to do. The rooster doesn't need inspiration. It's innate. Somehow Hashem imbued this rooster with some ability to give shira to Hashem. But the human being can choose silence, or we can join the choir. And then we're going to see at the end, in 4 or 5 hours from now, just want to see if you're awake, what that really means. But that's really the deep message of Perek Shira. All of creation sings, but only man can choose to be tone deaf. It's up to us. So we'll see, what is Perek Shira going to do for us? What I'd like to do is to go through a few of the statements that are made, or the various praises that are made from different parts of creation. Explain a little bit about each one first. Each one in itself warrants a shiur, but there'll be 85 or 86 shiurim. I don't think we're going to be doing that. There's a profound Torah idea with each one. They're about emunah, belief and faith, and about avodat Hashem and tikkun olam, the soul of nature. There's just so much involved in each one of these different praises. Now I'm going to go through, I don't know, a few of them, and they're not in any particular, this is not the order you're going to find it in Perek Shira. And I chose also to speak about, among the many, many things, 4 animals, because Avraham loved animals. He was going to be a veterinarian, if I remember right. He wanted to be, no? You know, he just wanted to love them. He didn't want his profession to be that. Okay. I got it wrong. They have a farm in the Galil. Oh, okay. Maybe one day there'll be a farm that opens in his memory. Right. That I remember. Baruch Hashem. Yep. The heavens. I mentioned the pasuk that the heavens say, Hashamayim misaprim kvod elu ma'aseh yadav magid harakia. The heavens declare the glory of Hashem. It's pasuk we know. Many of the pasukim that they say throughout the Perek Shira are known. Some of them are a little bit more obscure. Some are more well-known. This one's well-known. We say it in Shabbat morning. And as I said, creation began with the heavens, so Perek Shira begins with the heavens. The heavens don't really speak words. They don't say words. They say, Hashamayim misaprim kvod el, that the heavens declare the glory of God. Rashi tells it that the sipur, that the story of the heavens is not words or sounds. What is it that they sing then? What's the singing? What is that? When the heavens is the great firmament, everything we look at in general. When the rays of the sun come up over behind me, not right now, because that'd be really weird. We'd have a different kind of shira we'd be singing. And we contemplate what's really going on. Then the song of heaven is revealed. And what does that mean? That's Rashi. What does that mean? We know there's a pasuk, Marabu ma'asecha Hashem. How great are your works, O God. And there are times we make brachot on certain things that we see that are unbelievably beautiful and fantastic. And it's hard to, even without a bracha, sometimes you just walk down the street here and you look out and you see what it looks like in the sky. Just look and say, Marabu ma'asecha Hashem. It's unbelievable. When the words of the shira, of the shamayim, touch you, say like, wow, I understand what the heavens are feeling, so to speak, in quotes, you are connecting. It's inspirational for you as well. Every part of the shira can only really be completely revealed with our participation, with our contemplation as well. It's kind of like a partnership. So when we see the sunrise, and right now it's before 6, we can contemplate and we can think, Hashamayim misaprim kvod el, and we understand what it is that the Shamayim is saying. In a sense, we become, like I say, a partner in the statements of the Shira. The magnitude of what the heavens testify to. Let me give you, it is impossible for our human minds to understand what the universe means. There is a phenomenal video on YouTube. I played it in a couple of the classes over the years that shows the relative size of different things in the universe, whether it's planets and stars and nebula and galaxies. When you contemplate and you look at how a single individual is nothing but a dot in trillions and trillions of light. Not true. Millions and millions and millions and millions of light years of space. What that even means, our minds, again, cannot conceive of. We're at nothing. We're a dot of nothing, and yet we have a relationship with Hashem. And that's part of Hashemayim Misaprim Kvodel. So Hashem cares about you and you and you and you and hopefully me, right? And that is in spite of the fact that in the whole grand scheme, we are infinitesimally small. Rav Kook says that the beauty, the regular beauty, the day-to-day beauty that some people get just jaded to and don't even always look up and realize, it's the beauty of the natures, the beauty of the mathematical genius and beauty, which we've talked about in a couple of classes, the Fibonacci sequence that appears in nature. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's worth looking up. Rav Kook says that beauty is a form of emunah. When you see the cosmos all in harmony, the sun comes up when it's supposed to come up. I can tell you right now, 700 years from today, what time the sun's going to rise. Bezrat Hashem. All goes well. Maybe off by a microsecond or two because of the whatever. But you see that, but Rav Kook says you're seeing the divine signature in what we call nature. It's very much something we see in the Kuzari as well. Some idea like that. That's the Shemaim, the Eretz, the land, the earth. So interestingly enough, the earth says as follows: the David Mizmor LaDonai haaretz umloah tevel v'yosheveva. The earth, God belongs. The Hashem. Let me say it the right way. The earth is Hashem's. Everything in it. Now, parentheses, famous Gemara, and for those who don't know, when I say it's famous, it just means I know it. Famous Gemara says there are two psukim that contradict each other. One says that everything belongs to Hashem. It's Gemara in Brachot. The other says that Hashemayim Shamayim Lashem, the heavens for God, Ba'aretz Natan Lifnei Adam, and the earth is for man. Gemara says, Kan Lifnei Bracha, Kan Lachav Bracha. When you don't before you make the bracha and you have an apple, it belongs to God. When you make a bracha, now it's yours and to do with it. But in general, what does this pasuk mean when the earth says everything in the earth is Hashem's? We're guests. We are guests in Hashem's room. This is Hashem's place, especially where we are here in Israel and especially over there in Yerushalayim. Perek Shira is totally anti-entitlement, totally anti-woke. Thank God. Because nothing is magiali. Hashem owns the world. Koneh hakol. And yet we pause and we reflect and we think about what Hashem gave us in this world. We're here to do his mitzvot. And we enable the song of the earth to flourish, so to speak, when we do Hashem's will. Why? Because the earth says the earth is Hashem's. Well, if it's Hashem's, then what's our part? So our part is being partners with Hashem by doing the Ritzon Hashem, by doing mitzvot. And when we do that, we therefore compliment as in not saying, oh, good job, figure out which one's the E and which one's the I. And what the song of the earth, and we enhance that particular shira. Trees. We have trees all around us. Israel is the only country in the world that has more trees at the end of the year than at the beginning of the year. Every single year, thanks to Kakao, or Hashem, Karen Kayam Israel. Unfortunately, lately we've lost some. It will be interesting how Hashem is created. I'm sure many of you have been on different Tiulim and all, where you hear about when there's a fire and the pieces burn and they replant themselves and they regrow the forest. And it's like, I've said to people, especially who are in medicine, how can someone go through medical school and not believe in Hashem? How can someone go into the sciences and not believe in Hashem? It's lo la dat. And you see this, and when something like that, when a person, God forbid, injures themselves and the skin repairs itself, even these little things that we take for granted. When you unless Chas v'Shalom, someone's a hemophiliac, when you cut yourself, you don't think like, oy vey, for months it's going to keep bleeding and somebody keep putting bandages. You put a Band-Aid on it, and a day or two later, you take it off, and you're going to be okay, right? And then the skin repairs itself, unless it was deep, God forbid, right? Move on. But that's Hashem working in nature. Tree says, "Az yirannu atzei hayar milifnei Hashem, kiva lishbot et haaretz." A very strange statement when it comes to praise. It means that all the trees shall sing before Hashem, for he is coming to judge the earth. Any of you have ever been in a courtroom? I've been in a number of times in a courtroom, by choice. I swear they dropped the charges. It was expunged. If you've ever been in a courtroom, I wouldn't say that is a, wow, we're being judged. This is great. I don't know, you go to Yom Kippur morning and say, yes, God's going to judge me today. It's like, uh-oh, I'm going to watch my back. So what does that mean? So it's kind of a strange kind of shira, say. So the meaning of tree, besides the literal meaning of tree, there's another usage of tree that we find in Navi, where the proverbial tree is used as a mashal or as some form of a parable. I'll give you an example. I'll read and I'll translate. V'yadu kol atzei hasadeh ki ani Hashem. Then all the trees of the field will know that it is I, God. Hishpalti etz gavoah, higbati etz shafal, ovashti etz lach, v'frachti etz yavesh. Ani Hashem, dibarti vasiti. It is I, God, who have abased, this is the English translation, sorry, who have abased the lofty tree and have exalted the lowly tree, and who have dried up the green tree and made the withered tree bud. I, God, have spoken and I will act. The tree is actually using a passive image. He is singing for judgment. Rabbi Nachman tells us when judgment is divine, meaning Hashem's judgment, it's redemptive. The tree wants judgment because it wants meaning. It wants truth. Judgment is about finding the truth. It's about bringing truth to this world. Now, do we want that? Do we want to be judged? Depends. Depends on what that means to each one of us. But it does mean that ultimately, when judgment is, when someone, give a simple example. You're driving down on Kvish Achad, on Route 1, or depending where you're from, Route 1. Can't even say that. On Route 1, and as a motorcycle zips past you, and he's going 150 kilometers an hour, and you see two other cars zipping by you, and God forbid there's this little accident, and like where are the police? Come on! And then all of a sudden, a police pulls one of them over, gives him a ticket on the spot. What do you feel? Yes, justice, right? Got caught. I actually saw it happen. I was in Montreal many years ago. My father was driving a car. Someone cut him off. He really had to hit the brakes, and there was a oh, it's good. So you get feedback, and it's okay. And literally right next to us was a policeman. In 2 seconds, lights went on. He pulled over the cop, and we were like, that was great. Now I was all 15. I still remember that. So it was impressive. But that's what it's talking about. Really, the trees are themselves the mashal, and they're also asking and saying that what we want from Hashem is to have redemptive justice in the world. The dog. I say it why, like, wow, the mosquito sings, the ant sings, the dog sings. Like, he says something interesting, the dog. Let us kneel before the Lord, our master. Now, the dog in the writings of Chazal, Chachamenu Zichronam Livracha, is a symbol of azut panim, of like, I don't even know a good word in English for it. What would you say? Brazen. It represents the brazen individual. There's also danger involved sometimes when using the concept of dog in parables. But here the dog bows. Dog bows to Hashem. Why? Because in Shemot, we know that when it came time for the Makat Bechorot, the dog was silent. It didn't bark. It held its tongue. The dog earned an eternal reward because of that. That's why la kelev tashlichunoto, you could throw the tray to the dog. One moment of restraint of the dogs, that teaches us a concept called in Chassidut, you see it in other places, bitul. Bitul, where you just nullify yourself to the will of God. I am here only to do the will of Hashem. Bitul. And even the lowliest creature or creatures in creation can become vessel for Shira. The dog can teach us about bitul. In addition to that, interestingly enough, this pasuk is supposed to be said in the time of Tchiyat HaMetim, the revival of the dead. Imagine that the Shira of the dog is going to be said by people. The dog who represents brazenness, azut panim, the same words will be used at the time of Tchiyat HaMetim. Even if, God forbid, a person maybe have sunk as low, you usually term in English, you dog, right? Don't use it. Just saying you hear it sometimes. So even someone who may have sunk very low has the ability to build back up. The rooster. I'm going to tell you two things about the rooster. First, what the rooster says. The rooster is unique in Perek Shira because there's actually 7 different things that the rooster said, one for each day, it would seem. What does he do? As the day dawns, the rooster sings its song. But we say in the morning, there's 2 versions, Sfaradi and Ashkenazi. The Ashkenazi say, or is that what I say? I say okay. Either way, we say that the sechvi, the rooster, was given intellect, and the Gemara calls the rooster tiv'ei dat. It knows time. It knows intellectually. It knows the times of the day. That it gave the rooster the ability to know the difference between day and night. Very nice. This idea with Avchin, now it was nighttime, now it's daytime. There's only one problem with that. And the problem is, and I just saw this on a video last week, I sent it on to a few people. The problem is when the rooster crows, you say crow? The rooster crow? Okay. When the rooster crows, it's still dark. It's not dawn. It's still dark. So he's not that smart, maybe. Yeah. It's like you wake up at 4 a.m, it's still dark, say, oh, it's time to get up. No, it's not. It's only another hour and a half or whatever it might be to sleep. It's about Tikkun rooster. Very good. Yeah. So it should change all the time. And you have to change the rooster at the Shaun Kai, Shaun Chorev. Yeah. Yeah. So what does it mean? If in fact he crows when it's still dark, the rooster knows the dawn is coming. He knows that even though it's dark, it's going to get light. That's emunah. That's how we start our day. We start our day with the emunah taught to us by the rooster who crows in the morning. That's how we begin our day. That's actually the Shira. I don't have the pasuk here for some reason. One of the pasukim. It's okay. But that's one of the things we learn from the rooster when it comes to this concept. And that alone can be expanded greatly. So when we wake up in the morning, if you wake up I love waking up when it's dark. I really do. And a good part of the year I wake up when it's dark. And if you do wake up and it's dark, and as you see the day start, you see the dawn and the sunrise and it starts getting lighter, we're used to it, right? If I were to say to you, I'm going to make you a bet, everything I own, I will bet you every single thing I own that the sun, maybe it's going to be cloudy, but the sun will come up tomorrow. I'm willing to, would anybody take the bet and say it won't? I don't think so. Because that's not how Hashem, first of all, Hashem promised in Parshat Noach, that's not going to happen, right? Because he said, Yom v'layla v'chom, and everything else, that's not going to, it's not going to stop. He's not going to stop the cycle of what we call nature, which is Hashem's fingerprint or handprint in nature. But it is every single day. But that's part of the issues that we kind of get used to that. Imagine you live in a country where you live very far north, for example, in the winter, and the land that, or in the summer, the land of the midnight sun, or it's dark, many months of the year. That's why over centuries, unfortunately, it was partially a pagan holiday, but they also had holidays to celebrate, the beginning of the season when the sun they first would start seeing the sun. There's a country I don't remember where, somewhere way up north, near Norway, where there's an area which the village is so far down in the mountains, a regular village, that even when the sun comes up, they don't really even see it because they're so far down. They installed giant mirrors to reflect light into the village. But light is a very important part of our life. And when we start to see it, understanding like the rooster, that even though you don't see it, you know it's gonna be there. It's going to be there, and that's what one things you get from the rooster. The lion. Hashem ki gibor yitzeh, ki ish milchamot ya'ir kina, yaria af yatzriach aloi vav yitkabar. God shall go forth like a warrior. He shall arouse zeal. He shall say, even roar. He shall prevail over his enemies. With a lion, you would expect a pasuk about royalty, malchut. He's the king of the animals, right? That's what the lion is. But no, the lion sings about divine wrath and almost anger, not violence, but justice. Once again, justice. The lion is represents midat hadin, the midah, the characteristic in quotes of Hashem of din, of judgment. And Shir Rabbah, in the Midrash Rabbah and Shir Shirim, it's also the Ariel, the lion of the Beit HaMikdash. So it's a song about divine presence, but through Gvura. I can come into your house. You can leave your door open. I come into your house, and I can let my presence be known a few ways. I can come in and go, hi, I'm here, or hey, how you doing? If anyone's asleep, sorry. Right? Like I can roar, so to speak, and let you know my presence. That's what the... Okay, short story. Many years ago, I was giving a Dvar Torah Shabbat morning in Shul in Chicago, and as would happen sometimes, someone would fall asleep. And I never took offense to that. But in one talk, I paused, and for whatever I'm saying, the name maybe was David. I yelled out part of the story, David, and then one guy had fallen asleep whose name was David or David, and he jumped up. I really felt bad. And once gave a guy almost a heart attack or something else, but anyways, this is not about me. It's about Perek Shira. So part of what the lion is telling us about the divine presence is felt through Gvura, through the power and the magisterial position of Hashem in this world. The mule. Believe it or not, this is my favorite line in the whole one. And I'll tell you why. Mule says, it's not what he says, it's what comes of it. Yoduch Hashem kol malchei aretz, ki shamu imrei ficha. All the kings are going to thank you. All the kings of the world will thank you, Hashem. A mule is different than most animals because it cannot reproduce. It's an anomaly, something unusual. It sings about universal kingship or malchut. Sometimes the outsider is an anomaly. And sometimes that outsider carries the greatest song. I'm going to read something I wrote down. We often silence what we don't understand. Perek Shira teaches us even the silent ones have verses. As someone who's been involved in education for a very long time, Zrat Hashem should continue, you find very often that you have students who are marginalized because they don't fit a certain mold. And when you finally do get them to open up, the worlds that you find inside are incredible. Someone who's different, maybe someone who was sick, maybe somebody who's not 100% in the same vein with everybody else or fit the mold of that school. They're different. And sometimes, and more often than not, they're the ones who can carry the greatest song. One more, the wind, which we feel right now. And I didn't plan that. It says, Omar latzafon teni uleteiman al tichlai havi'i banai merachok uvnotai miktzeh haaretz. The wind makes the winds his messengers. Wind is invisible. Its damage isn't. It's what happens from it. We just saw, not just because he maybe had some chairs blowing around, but Shalom Nedal, the things that happened with the fire the other day, fires. Wind is invisible, but it does carry messages, in quotes. In a Kabbalistic thought, Ruach also refers to Ruach HaKodesh. We feel it, but we don't see it. The wind reminds us that even something intangible can be divine and play a part in our lives. Now, in all this, and there's many more stanzas, and I recommend, even if you don't understand everything, take a look at it in Hebrew and English and look at it and read it. Maybe start taking it upon yourself to say, where's our place in all this? Humans. The Zohar tells us, I only have it here in English, that each creation is a musical note in the divine symphony. It's a beautiful statement. But what about man? As I said in the beginning, Only man can choose not to sing. We live in a world of noise, and in many, many meanings of that word. We don't live in a world of song. We hear shouting, not harmony. And that's one of the ultimate goals, in my personal perspective, of what Perek Shira is about, is to teach us to hear again, to listen to the silent voices that never stop singing. I'm going to close with something that I heard years ago in a lecture. I don't have a whiteboard behind me, so you have to use your mind for a second. I thought was brilliant. Every single person sitting here, everyone watching online or who will watch this, at some point or another, someone has asked them for their opinion on something. It could be as simple as, should I wear the blue or the green? Or it's, should I marry this person or not? Should I, whatever it might be. We've all been called upon at some point for an opinion. Or someone wants to talk to you about something, not something necessarily earth-shattering. And if I want to talk to you, I would really like you to listen. To listen. Now, very often, you'll find people who are listening like this. Yeah, sure. Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, it's a good idea, right? Playing on their phone, whatever, or looking around and listening with half an ear, or they're looking right at you, but their mind's not there. They're thinking, where am I going? When he's going to stop talking? When is it? When can I go home already? Whatever it might be. So, what is it when we want someone to listen? If you take the letters Listen and you rearrange them, you get the word silent. To really listen, you have to be silent here and here to listen. And that's what we do with Perek Shira. When you listen, take a time for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, one day, at night especially, it's one's quieter. You go and you stand by a park, you stand wherever it is. I'm not saying necessarily heat vodadut, but some idea by yourself or with others, just listen to the song of nature and understand what Perek Shira is a little bit about, a little more. That the heavens and the earth, the song, and the rooster and the lion and the mosquito and the dog, if they can sing praise to Hashem, so can we. We can do that as well. I just hope that we are able to not remain silent when it comes to Shira, to Hashem, to praise Hashem. And I want to end with thanking Martin and Rhonda for opening your homes, home, singular. Let's make this one the French Riviera we can go to next. And again, that should be as now we are in the yarhzeit, that Avram's neshama should have an aliyah, shamayim, and we should always get together B'ezrat Hashem for good things. And once again, to end with all the chayalim and chayalot and all the kochot habitachon, and everybody should just remain safe, come home safely. The hostages all back home B'ezrat Hashem b'karov. Thank you very much. Yes.